The Right Question is a weekly literary program that explores the world of writing and publishing in the Western United States. I'm Chérie Newman, and here are just a few of the terrific writers I've talked with during the last several months. There are lots of bad guys and gals in James Lee Burke's new novel. He says he has fun writing scoundrels into his stories, but not because he's sadistic. He creates villains because we want them.
It comes out of our English tradition, the most law and order people in the world, and the ones who also admire most their own outlaws.
According to Alison Hagee, the West offers a unique setting for storytelling.
I think humans are much smaller out here, and that's really appealing to me as a storyteller. Humans are more easily overwhelmed by landscape and its challenges in the American West than anywhere else in our nation, I think.
Thomas McGuane's new book is a dark, picaresque novel with a self-reflective narrator.
Before he can do anything with himself, he has to figure out what his self is.
And a very common theme.
Self-invention is maybe the primary theme of American literature.
Years ago, Roger Dunsmore read an article titled "Does Poetry Matter?" in Harper's Magazine and wrote a response poem.
Does poetry matter? Such a pernicious question. We all know, of course, the expected answer. So bring out the nihilists. Call up at least the literary terrorists.
Laura Munson's memoir offers a different perspective on what to do when your marriage hits a rocky patch.
The idea that we have to fight fire with fire and that we have to react doesn't serve us. I think, there's nothing wrong with a little patience and self-containment.
In his 10th Joe Pickett novel, C.J. Box sends his game warden out into the high mountain wilderness of Wyoming. There he meets a tough-looking character who advises him to get on his horse and ride away. But
he can't do it, and for the want of a $14 fishing license, it sets a death spiral in motion.
During the 1970s, Laura Bell was a Wyoming sheep herder. Now she's written a memoir that includes stories of that hard life, as well as many bits of wisdom.
I think if you live well and you try to learn and you try to grow, then it's hard because you make hard choices and you dig in with relationships and with people and with your art and your job.
With his new book, historian Dan Flores shows, literally, how artists have defined the West.
It's been said that a place doesn't exist until a writer, a photographer, or a painter portrays it and presents a version of it to the rest of the culture.
When students ask Kathleen Dean Moore for advice about beginning their adult lives, she has this to say:
"Your calling is at the intersection of your deepest joy and the world's greatest need."
And from much personal experience, she knows what softens grief.
The gifts that you might like the best are poems.
You can find information about all these authors, plus many, many more, and find out how and where to listen, and join our Facebook gang at thewritequestion.blogspot.com.